Welcome to Maple Grove High School for a District 279 girls basketball matchup. Tonight it's the Park Center Pirates in their second meeting of the season with the Maple Grove Crimson. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Darren Lampker, the former Armstrong girls coach, and three really good teams in the district this year in girls basketball, and these two set for battle for round two.
Yeah, it's really exciting. You know, Park Center is full of athletes. They're going to go up and down the court, and Maple Grove's going to try to slow it down a little bit and just try to contain them and, you know, and look for a good shot. You know, not take 30, 40 seconds, but it might take that long to get a shot off, and sometimes that'll be a good thing for the Crimson.
Park Center's had a great year, 18-4, but a little slump lately, and they're trying to get their way back into getting some confidence here tonight against a tough defensive team.
You know, high school kids love consistency, and with weather-related cancellations and a bunch of different things, that makes it tough, you know, and so I'm sure that has to do with a little bit, and Park Center's really young. And when you don't practice every day, you can kind of feel a difference when it comes to the game time.
Maple Grove's been playing well of late, and they didn't play especially well Monday night against Blaine, but still were able to pull out a one-point win. And they're kind of a team that's, you know, coming on strong. Maybe not as talented overall as Park Center, but could be a factor at playoff time.
Well, and that's what you want to do. You want to peak at the end of the season, and Coach Cook knows what he's doing. He's done it for a long time, and he's trying to get those girls organized and ready to go for the playoffs. And if they can make a run in the playoffs or play their best basketball, you look out.
Let's tell you about key players to keep an eye on in tonight's game. Of course, the Kaylas are the best players for each team. Kayla McMorris for Park Center, Kayla Jones for Maple Grove, but we're going to talk about a couple of others that'll be key factors. Michaela Hayes is a young player for Park Center that certainly come on this year. Up front has been able to help out Kayla McMorris, averaging just under 10 points per game and about 7.5 rebounds. And for Maple Grove, Cora Bourbonnais, a good team player for them.
Well, yeah, she's their senior leader. You know, Coach Cook calls her Mama Bear, and, you know, she kind of takes care of the team and on and off the court and makes everybody feel good, you know, when they step in the gym and when they leave. And as a point guard and as a senior, that's what you got to do. You got to be a leader. And she is a tough, hard-nosed player, not afraid to take a charge and not afraid to distribute the ball. And it'll be a really big test for her tonight, but it'll be fun to watch.
All right, should be a good one here. The Pirates and the Crimson next up here on 12 Sports.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth.
You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. It must be hospice.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown!
We have a job to do out here today.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The action team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
The American dream need not forever be deferred.
This is the richest and the most powerful country.
And welcome back here to Maple Grove. Senior night here for the Crimson as they honored their three seniors, Cora Bourbonnais, Kayla Jones, and Allie Winter. And the team's starting lineup's about to be introduced here to the crowd here at Maple Grove as the Pirates try and get a season sweep of their district rivals. Here's a look at the lineups for the two teams, and Simonette at a guard for Park Center, along with Hannah Schaub, Michaela Hayes, the talented youngster at center, Kayla McMorris and McKenna DuBois rounding out their lineup. Cora Bourbonnais, Mackenzie Barda, Kayla Jones, Allie Winter, and Allie Schmidt, the starters for the Maple Grove Crimson. They are starting all of their seniors this evening, which again is just three of them, but had a nice tribute to them, Darren, and it's always kind of an exciting thing for, you know, you work so long and you want to be looking forward to being part of a high school program, and I know it feels like it goes pretty quick once you get to senior night here.
Yeah, and that's one of the things when you're a senior, it's a special season for you. You only get one senior season no matter what, any way you look at it. So if you get a chance to start any game or even play any game, you're a lucky young lady. You know, the funnel gets pretty small. You start out with a lot of girls playing in first, second, third, and fourth grade, but as time goes on, there's only a few that make it as seniors.
First time around, Park Center defeated the Crimson at Park Center by 11, 55-44. Mark Cook talked about, he's the Maple Grove coach, talked about his team defensively has been good. You know, one of the lower defensive averages against, and obviously they were able to hold Park Center down somewhat. The Pirates have not been scoring nearly as much in recent games, and last couple of losses, in fact, against Andover, they did not even hit the 40 mark, so they were you know, a little bit, their pace has been slowed a little bit by teams that have obviously faced them once already, and that's kind of a, you know, a little back and forth tug of war that we're going to see here tonight in the tempo, as you said in the pregame.
That's the key tonight. It's going to be tempo. If Park Center can get out and run and turn this into a track meet, that really favors them. You know, Maple Grove is going to try to do what other teams have been doing to Park Center is, hey, slow it down, look for the best shot possible, make them play defense for 30 seconds, and you know, contain them on the break.
Park Center, I think, has to feel a little bit disappointed that they their last couple losses, they would have been in good position in the conference. They got some help from Champlain Park knocking off Centennial, but they were not able to take care of business either. So Pirates now sitting at 14-4 in the league, and Oak at 15-4, and Centennial still got some more games to go at 14-3. So, you know, the postseason is what people remember ultimately, but trying to take a conference title, I know, was something they were hoping to do. They've only done it once ever in school history.
Yeah, that would have been a big deal. You know, conference title is important. You know, there's only one team that wins the state championship, so there's some other championships on the way with region titles and conference titles, and those mean a lot. And, you know, Park Center, you know, they haven't had a lot of success in a lot of sports, but they've been pretty good lately in boys basketball and girls basketball, so that'd be important to them.
Pirates have been ranked number 2 in the state for much of the year. They are in Class 3A, unlike Maple Grove was in 4A. And I think even with the, you know, little issues of late, the Pirates, I think, are still seen as a definite contender to not only win their section, but to, you know, in the statewide in Class 3A. But they need to get things going again here. Hayes jumping it up, that time against Allie Schmidt, and Park Center in white. They will control it here to start it out. Maple Grove in a man-to-man. Here's the back cut by McMorris, and she's able to lay it in off the feed from Schaub.
You're going to have to make a switch on that back screen, or she's going to kill you all night doing that.
Cross-court pass just barely made it there. Mackenzie Barta. Now here's Bourbonnais. Three-pointer taken. Three-pointer hit by Kayla Jones. She has had a nice year for Maple Grove.
You know, she's definitely their leading scorer and their most potent offensive player. If you can get her going like that early on, it could be a big night for her.
Averages 16 per game for the Crimson. Long jumper, no good. Park Center, Hayes was underneath. They knocked it away from her, but it'll be PC ball. There is a look at Chris Vanderhyde, his first year as head coach, and you know, and he kept a good attitude. He's not panicking that they've struggled a little bit in the last couple of games. They say, you know, we gotta find things and get our confidence back more than anything. McKenna DuBois a miss. However, weak side rebound and layup good by Ann Simonet.
You know, that's a great rebound, you know, backside over there, and you really got a box out for Maple Grove there.
Just got that pass back out as Schmidt was falling. DuBois getting the assignment on Jones. Park Center, you see, up trying to play the passing lanes. They're a team that likes to get some steals and get out and run. Barta brings it back, and now across to Jones on the left side.
You know, this is okay for Maple Grove to work the ball here and find the best shot possible.
Bourbonnais coming back to get it. Patient possession here by the Crimson, which is kind of, as we've talked about, kind of their thing, you know, making sure they'll swing it side to side and get a decent shot. And I always feel like if the defense doesn't like that, well, you could just give them an easy layup right away if you wanted to. Jumper from the baseline, bounces in and out. Nice board, though, by Winter, but then blocked after the initial try by Barta wouldn't drop. Maple Grove trailing at 4-3. PC into the front court. And a pass off target, trying to go to McMorris there. They were just a little bit off on their communication there on that, trying to dump it down.
You know, that was a great possession for Maple Grove before. They got a nice wide open shot and worked it around. And eventually one of the Park Center girls, I believe McMorris, tried to make a steal, missed it, and gave up an open shot. So if you're patient enough.
Well, they swing it inside to Schmidt, trying to draw some contact, but no call. Here's the pass ahead, trying to get Kayla McMorris, but a little too far. Back-to-back turnovers here by Hannah Schaub. So look at Mark Cook, and Mark's had to miss a couple games of late for a pretty good reason. A new addition to his family, a 2.5-week-old son. So he is obviously not getting a lot of sleep right now, but done a very nice job with this Crimson program.
You know, he's done a really nice job. It's tough when you start to have kids and coaching kids and have kids of your own. It's a different mix.
Bourbonnais with it over to Jones. They get it at edge of the lane here to Schmidt. Back inside to Schmidt it comes, trying to go up against Hayes. Missed it, but this time we will get the foul call going against Michaela Hayes, and the official demonstrating to Hayes that you brought your arm down over the top of her there. So free throws upcoming for Schmidt.
You know, Hayes was in great position there. If she just would have just gone straight up more with her arms, I mean, I don't know if she would have got that call, but that was a really nice defensive play by Schmidt, and if she could just keep her arm straight.
Schmidt about a 63% free thrower on the year. Hits the first and looking to add one more here and nails a pair. So Maple Grove takes the lead here 5-4.
I guess I'm a little surprised to see Park Center not pressing a little bit, trying to speed this pace up.
Nice back screen there, and they hit McMorris for her second bucket of the night, and the Pirates retake the lead.
Said it earlier, Maple Grove has to switch on that pick just to show, and then they can switch back, but otherwise McMorris is just going to get layup after layup.
We're going to get an offensive foul call on the screen there for the Crimson as you get a look at that last hoop. Winter whistled for the foul there. First team foul on Maple Grove as well. And that really is more on the dribbler, I think, than the screener there. Didn't wait for her to get it and use that screen properly. Hayes cutting across the middle and draws a foul. You know, you talk, obviously, Park Center with Kayla McMorris being a senior this year, kind of a year for them to really do something. But at the same time, you've got so much young talent in this program, including Hayes, and they're going to be quite good for some years to come the way it looks here.
They have got a great group of girls set up for the years to come, like you said. I'm really impressed with Hayes. And as a freshman and being so long, she handles the ball well. She knows where she is defensively, and she's really impressive.
Second free throw is good, and I think sometimes it maybe seems a little bit more difficult for younger post players or younger big girls than guards to fit into the lineup, you know, early on. You're playing against some people who are a little bit older, a little bit stronger usually, and but she's obviously not had too much problem fitting in this season.
No, she looks quite comfortable for a ninth grader.
Olivia Peterson into the lineup for PC. Shot bounces in and out there for Barta. Good hustle by Winter, though, to keep it alive, or Schmidt, rather, to keep it alive. Now here's Cora Bourbonnais lining up that three. No, it's a two-pointer for Bourbonnais. Had a foot on the line, but she knocks it down. She's a good shooter.
You can really see a difference when Hayes is out of the ball game for offensive rebounds for Maple Grove. You know, they picked up 2 right there, and I didn't see too many when she was in the game.
McMorris to the baseline. Oh, beautiful reverse with the left hand. That's why she's a D1 recruit, moves like that.
That was really tough. Great move.
Not a lot of room on that baseline, and she's somehow able to get to the other side of the hoop and lay that one in.
A bit of contact too, and she still followed right through it. That was impressive.
Around to Jones. Back out to the corner, and Schmidt will take that one. No good. Nice offensive rebound by Kayla Jones. Missed it. Got it again. Missed it. Gets it another time and misses it. And then McMorris out with the steal. Pass ahead and trying to dribble it there instead of catch it was Danielle Schaub, who's checked in for Park Center. Another look at this last hoop. That's going to be one of the best ones you'll see all season.
Wow, really impressive. You know, once again, though, Maple Grove is just pounding Park Center on the offensive glass with Hayes not in the game.
Jones last time, 3 offensive boards, although it was too strong off the board on all 3 of her attempted shots here. Haley Barker, number 10, into the lineup for the Crimson, and that one put up and in by Mary Ekberg for 3, and Maple Grove goes back in front.
That's a great shot, and they were patient, 4 or 5 passes, and got a look that they wanted, and she knocked it down.
I remember when I talked to Mark Cook at the beginning of the season, you know, so what do you like about this group, or what are you good at? And he said, we have shooters on this team, you know, maybe more, a higher number of shooters than a lot of years. There's a pass inside McMorris, the hoop and one.
You know, all her shots have come within 4 feet of the basket, and Maple Grove's going to have to turn her into a jump shooter tonight. Otherwise, she's going to have 30 points before it's all said and done. You know, whether you have to double her or do something, but you can't let her get that close to the basket with that many touches and that good a look.
Free throw is good. McMorris, 9 quick points here for the Pirates, and they lead it 12-10. Barker handling it. Fashayo Ayo Bamadeli has come in for Park Center. Another of their talented young players. Barker on the drive and finishes it strong for Maple Grove. She had a good season for the Crimson.
That was a good, strong take, and went through some contact and made it happen.
And we're going to get a foul there as Schmidt will be whistled on bailing out Peterson a little bit there. Was not a lot of room. Peterson took her shot, and Schmidt going to pick up her second personal to send Peterson to the free throw line.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'll have to take a look at that maybe sometime. And it seemed like she got all ball, but I wasn't close enough to see that.
Free throw is good for Peterson.
You know, it was the same call on the other end, though, when Maple Grove came down with the arms, or Park Center came down with the arms, and Maple Grove did the same thing here. So the refs are calling it that way, so now you got to learn to adjust to that and keep your arms straight up.
So Park Center by 2 as Peterson makes both free throws. And there's a steal by McMorris jumping out into the passing lane. She'll get another easy hoop. And her 5th field goal already in this first half. 16-12 now, Pirates.
You know, I think she's 5 for 5 from the field. I don't know if she's missed a shot yet, even though it's been pretty close, but she has got great anticipatory skills. Look at that.
Another steal from McMorris. This time they fouled her before she could get in for a breakaway layup. Ekberg will be whistled for the foul.
Great tip and steal, and just blows past everybody and gets out in front. And you know, it's not much to say. She's a Division I recruit for a reason, and she showed it in the first, 7-8 minutes of this game.
Emily Dean has come in, number 22 for Maple Grove. McMorris driving and was held on the way to the hoop. And foul call will go against Dean, it looks like.
It's just a tough matchup when she can put it on the deck like that and, post up strong. She's going to be a tough matchup all night.
To the corner, McMorris dishing over to Hayes. Passed up the initial look and then a little off balance on that shot.
The Crimson did a great job there of taking the ball out of her hands. They ran a double at her and made her give it up, and that's what they're going to have to do.
Look at Barker go to the hoop strong, but McMorris able to grab the rebound. Now Barker D'ing up hard on her. And we're going to get an offensive foul. McMorris leading with that left arm, pushing off a little bit on Barker, so the Crimson will get the ball back. Another look at it here. She's got it stuck out there a little bit. Although I think you could see that probably almost any trip down the court in a basketball game. And Chris Vanderheide not too pleased with it.
You know, I think part of it is Coach Cook was talking about that on her last drive to the basket. She kind of hooked somebody and said she was using her off arm, and it kind of alerted the refs there.
Maddie Tharp, 15 with the ball there, 6'3", sophomore for Maple Grove, battling with Hayes, and Hayes pushed her and will be called for the foul. So that'll be her second. So each team's got an inside player with a couple of fouls already. Schmidt for Maple Grove and also Hayes for Park Center.
And that's where Hayes has to learn. There's no need to shove that far from the basket. Now, if she's down on the block, now you got to be a little more physical. But when she's out there, just get down, give her a cushion, and stay off her a little bit and play there. But she's young, and those things will come.
Camille McCoy into the lineup, and there's a nice inbound play, and Bourbonnais gets her second bucket of the night. That one from much closer range than the first. 16-14 now, Park Center.
Great little setup out in bounce, and Bourbonnais did a nice job as a senior there, found her way through and used her body and made a nice shot.
McMorris taking a three, and it's off the side to the right. Park Center lead down to 2, and Maple Grove trying to see if they can't tie it up or maybe even go ahead with a 3. They go inside and up and under move, nice move, but not able to finish with Tharp. Pirates running a dangerous pass though into traffic, and it will stay with Park Center, and they're lucky because that was not a pass that was really there.
You know, that was kind of forced a little bit there, but Park Center's trying to speed the pace up of the game a little bit, and that's what you're going to get once in a while. Although Park Center, when they run a set offense here, they've got some great shots and some great looks for McMorris.
Three-point try won't drop that time for Danielle Schaub. Barker going to the hoop, puts it up with the left hand, no good. Barker grabs it and draws a foul. Now she's kind of the opposite of they've got the real patient look, and Barker is an attacking player.
Yeah, she's just trying to get to the rim as fast as she can right from the get-go, and you know she's got a few decent looks out of it and made one, and you got to attack at some point. You know that you might want to swing the ball 3-4 times, and you could still get that same attack probably from her from a wing situation or something like that too. Make Park Center play a little bit more defense.
DuBois comes back in for PC, and for Maple Grove, Barda coming back in. So both teams using their bench pretty liberally here so far in this first half.
You know, depth's going to be a big thing, and later on in this game with a few fouls and the pace that it's at right now, and it looks to both teams have a decent depth, so it'll be good to see.
I've always been an advocate too of, as we get Schaub driving, gives it over to McCoy, partially blocked. Schaub gets it back, and it won't drop. And then we get a foul on McCoy. Her second. I was going to say, Darren, I've been an advocate of it. If you think somebody might play, get them in somewhat early in the game. I mean, it's tough. You don't want to send somebody in, you get some foul trouble, and all of a sudden you throw somebody in for the first time with 5 minutes left in a tie game. That's tough on a kid.
That's really hard. That's a great point. If you can get them in early in the flow of the game when it's a close game in the action, it just kind of gets their juices flowing. And if you need them later on, you know that's a really good thing to do.
16-16 our score here. 8:20 to play in the first half. Maple Grove and Park Center, late season matchup. They missed Tharp inside after the defender had fallen.
The Tharp's working really hard in there to try to get the ball, and they might want to dump it down to her. She made a really nice move last time.
Gets it this time, kicks it back out, and Barker, she's going to go to the hoop. We knew that.
You know, Park Center might want to look at backing off her a little bit and make her make a jump shot or two, because she is just going with reckless abandon to the basket, and it's working for her.
2-point lead here for Maple Grove. Now it's Schaub to the baseline. Back out. McCoy will line up a jumper. That's way off. Batted back, and DuBois will come up with it.
If you can turn Park Center into a jump shooting team, that's what you're going to want to do tonight if you're Maple Grove.
McMorris getting a rest right now for the Pirates. Hannah Schaub with it on top. Park Center's turn to have a long possession here. Little screen for Schaub, and she stops and pops and hits a three-pointer. Nice little brush screen there by Io Bomadelli.
And I think that's Park Center's first three-pointer of the game. You know, they've missed a couple, and you know, the only thing that's kind of struggling right now is that they went to the basket again hard.
Barker the miss, and then we get a traveling call. She actually fell over her teammate, Tharp, in the lane, as we get another look at the last shot here. A little pick and Schaub, a little step back three.
That's a great shot, in control. You know, what I was trying to say is that, you know, Park Center's first three, and Maple Grove has made a lot of threes, and you know, it's tough. You don't want to shoot too high percentage early on because it's gonna even out at some point.
And Park Center is a good distant shooting team too. Here's Dubois, or at least they have been for most of the year. There's Dubois knocking down a three, and that makes your offense flow a little smoother when you can get some open looks like that.
What a great call. I can't wait to see your spring baseball and calling out home runs and doubles now.
Tharp will pull up from 15, and it drops. So she shows an ability to step out on the floor a little bit too, and got some good potential there too.
Oh, wow, I really like her. She posts up hard. There's some great touch in the lane there. That's impressive.
Barker called for the fouls. You get another look, a little drive and dish.
She caught the ball and turned and faced right away, and that's just, you know, half the battle, and not afraid to shoot it.
So they are in the bonus. It will mean free throws for Schaub here after Barker bumped her a little bit out top. And averages just under 7 points per game and hits the free throw here. And is a pretty good free throw shooter, about 74%.
You know, now you know when you're in the bonus like this as a player, hey, you can't be afraid to dip your shoulder and get to the basket. You're shooting 1-and-1, and soon you'll be shooting 2 if you keep being aggressive and push the ball towards the rim.
But it means points when you have somebody who handles the ball a lot like Schaub and is able to convert at a high rate at the free throw line. It can mean the difference between wins and losses. Nice hoop by Bourbonnais, a little runner off the glass.
What a great cut. You know, she felt the pressure and went back door.
Simonette, three-pointer try from the corner, no good. McMorris runs it down. Schaub will get a wide open look from the top, and that one's way short.
You know, it's a couple of decent shots. You're open, and a great hustle play by McMorris to keep the ball alive and kick it back out.
Coach Vanderheide said a lot of his Pirates have kind of gone into shooting slumps around the same time, and it's, you know, sometimes you just have to shoot your way out of it. He felt like they're kind of guiding the ball a little bit, lacking a little bit of just that confidence of going up and expecting to make it every time. Nice drive, oh, and it almost rolls in there for Mackenzie Barta. I believe that hoop would have counted had it dropped, as Barta was fouled on the baseline drive there. Foul goes against Peterson.
That was a nice drive to the basket. You know, your point earlier about shooters, when you're struggling as a shooter, shooting out of it's all right too, but go to the basket and get a layup or get a free throw. Do something and get your confidence back up, and then just 9 times out of 10, you're going to knock that next shot down.
Barta's first free throw good, looking to tie it up if she can hit this one. Not good on the second one. So Park Center maintains a 1-point lead here on Maple Grove's home court. A little over 5 minutes to play here in this opening half here. Glad you could join us for Northwest Suburban Girls Basketball on 12 Sports. Winding down not only this conference season, but the winter sports season. McKenna Dubois open for another three and knocks another one down.
You know, it was just the penetration, draw 2 defenders and kick. It was nice.
There's McMorris with another steal, goes to the hoop, and the layup is good. Defender cut in front of her, almost got her off balance there, but was able to finish with the left hand.
It's almost like at will when she wants to get a steal, she can pop out and grab one. You know, she is really impressive.
Bourbonnais faking the three, got McMorris in the air, but pretty good help defense by Schaub, and then McMorris with a steal. Schaub running it back up court here for PC. Over to her sister, and that one will not drop there for Danielle Schaub.
It's got to be kind of fun to penetrate past to your sister. It'd be nicer if she could knock it down, though, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's going to tell her I wanted that assist. 6-point deficit for Maple Grove here, biggest that it's been so far here tonight, but been a good back and forth game. Well played here so far.
It's a critical time for Maple Grove. The lead's at 6 right now. You don't want to get it to double digits going into half. So slow it down like they're doing, work it, and get a great shot here.
They're trying to post up Barda. She's being defended now by Danielle Schaub, giving up about 5 or 6 inches, but they haven't been able to get a favorable swing of the ball to get it there. Oh, Bourbonnais was open after Dubois tried to draw a foul and spun back out of there. Jones to the hoop, but a push on the drive before she attempted that shot. Good job of swinging the ball by Maple Grove, and then Danielle Schaub will end up with the foul.
That's an excellent possession for Maple Grove. They worked it hard, swung it around, got a great penetration, and got fouled and a chance to make a couple free throws.
Tharp coming back in. She's been pretty effective in the moments that she's been out there, so getting a chance. Kayla Jones, you see in the background the poster of her. The 3 seniors have their posters up for poster night, so while she's shooting a free throw, in the background behind her is her. There it was. Second one also good for Jones, who's been fairly quiet so far, but just kind of taking what the defense gives. 5 points in the game for Kayla. Well, they forgot about Dubois, so she drives and then dishes, and the 3 will not drop that time for Danielle Schaub. Scramble for it on the floor. Timeout given to Maple Grove as Barker, I think, did a smart thing there and not just panic and try and throw that ball away right underneath their defensive hoop. She had good hold on it, and the Crimson realized it and were able to call a timeout before Park Center would get a chance to tie him up.
It was a nice play by Coach Cook. He saw the scramble, and being down 4 right now, it's a good timeout to try to work something around and get a bucket. I know Park Center's got some young kids, but Maple Grove has some young kids also that can play well with Tharp and who else am I thinking here? With Tharp, Barda. I mean, you got some sophomores in there and a few juniors that the cupboard is not bare next year.
No, that's for sure. They really are losing just 3 seniors out of their program too. So, and for Park Center, in fact, McMorris is their only senior. So when you watch a game between these 2 next year, you're going to see quite a few of the same faces on the court. Haley Barker bringing it up for the Crimson here as we tick down toward 3 minutes to play in the first half. Park Center by 4. Trying to break a little bit of a slump as they've struggled late. Jones missing, and it's going to go out of bounds. Good decision there by Dubois and McMorris to realizing that they were not going to be able to grab that one very easily, and nobody from Maple Grove was in a spot to get it.
And that was a good possession. They got a nice shot. And Jones gets a wide open 3 like that. That's a good look.
Hannah Schaub down low to McMorris, scores plus a foul. She has been on fire, but great nonverbal communication there. Just a little look, and she came up high and then went with the back cut. That's a great pass too by Schaub.
We talk about McMorris and all the things she does so well. One of the things she has is she has great hands. I mean, I've seen her catch some basketballs tonight, one-handed, tips them to herself, and does those things. And those are great hands. I'd love some of those hands on my football team.
So 32-25 Park Center, and there's a nice drive by Barker. She has really provided a spark. 8 points. I was going to say off the bench. She normally isn't a bench player, but because of senior night, they didn't have her in the lineup, so kind of an asterisk for her to be a bench player. But here's Schaub driving, and then McMorris's pass. Peterson started to cut out on the baseline and didn't see it coming until it was too late there. So a turnover will give it right back to Maple Grove.
And Barker's got a motor. She does not quit, and she goes hard. I'm really impressed with her tonight also.
I'm guessing Park Center's coach is going to say, how about we stay in front of number 10 a little bit better here too. They let him know at halftime, I'm sure, that she's been getting to the hoop a little too easily.
She's got 6 or 8 points. You got to make her a jump shooter.
Here's Bourbonnais from distance, and it's good. Barker the assist. Bourbonnais, her first 3. She shoots 41% on 3s. And we get a foul on Park Center on the way up court. It's going to go against Danielle Schaub.
Great shot by Bourbonnais. you know, the big thing too is Barker put the penetration in and draw 2 defenders and kick. That was a really nice pass and setup there.
They dump it inside Jones, and then she looks weak side for Barta. Schaub up with the steal, gets it over to Danielle Schaub. McMorris thought about it, and now her pass stolen by Jones. Didn't see her coming. So the Crimson to within 2 and have a chance to tie it up or go ahead with a 3 here. A minute 15 to play before halftime. And a strong drive and a finish by Barker.
You know, I think Barker's right-handed, but she's going hard with her left all the time also, and that's the difference. If you can go both ways, now you're really tough to stop.
Tie ball game just after it looked like Park Center might start to pull away a little bit. They were up 7, so 7 in a row here by the Crimson. Nice up and under, and McMorris gets another one to drop.
You have to double team her. She can, you know, she's going to work anybody over on the box like that.
Great hoop there. I mean, I've seen Kayla do a lot of good things in her career, but this might be as good as I've seen her look tonight. I mean, she's doing a lot of different things. Free throw is good. So 35-32 lead here for Park Center on the 3-point play by McMorris, and we're going to see a story on Kayla McMorris at halftime. Here's a drive by Barta McMorris with the block. Now Schaub leading the attack the other way, and a great block at the other end by Tharp. And it almost hit Schaub on the way out. So we saw McMorris with a great swat, and it was answered by Tharp with a great block at the other end.
That was impressive. They did a really nice job of getting back in defense and getting a piece of it.
And you see Coach Vanderheide is going to use a timeout here. He wants to set up maybe a last shot or at least an inbound play here. With 24 seconds to play in this first half, and his team leading it by 3.
You know, the coach is hopefully setting up a play, but it'd probably be really smart to get the ball in bounds and run the clock down and get McMorris a shot at the end or a penetrating the kick or something. At very least, you go up 3.5. You could go up 6, could go up 5. You know, unless you get a wide open layup right out of the inbounds play.
McMorris has lit it up so far. 19 points already in this first half.
You know, and all those shots are in the paint. You know, you got to turn her into a jump shooter. We can say it over and over again. I know it's easier to say than to do. That's pretty tough. But, you know, run a double at her. You cut her down a little bit. You know, she's going to get her 20, but not 20.5. You know, you can't allow that.
McMorris getting it into Schaub, and she'll come around for a quick 3, and that one is way short, but they get it right back. McMorris fakes it this time, then steps in a little bit and off target, and you see, not that she's not capable of making those, but she does miss 2 in a row from outside. Under 10, she's going to take another 3, and off with that one. Crimson get the rebound, couple seconds to go, and knocked away before Bourbonnais can shoot. And we have reached the halfway point of this one. Good first half of basketball here. 35-32. Park Center leading it by 3 points. At halftime, we'll be back with more basketball here on 12 Sports in just a moment.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
And welcome back here to Maple Grove. Park Center leading it by a score of 35-32 as the youth girls players get out there and show their stuff, including Darren's daughter. So that's a great opportunity for them, future players, to get out there and get on the big court here and get some action in at halftime. Well, we've seen just a dominant first half here for Kayla McMorris for Park Center, and earlier in this basketball season, right at the beginning of the season, our John Jacobson from 12 Sports sat down with Kayla and did a story on her for our Sports Jam show. And let's take a look now at this Kayla McMorris story.
She is the focal point for all opposing teams. Kayla McMorris is Park Center's best girls basketball player, plain and simple. But the 5'11" senior and 4-year starter simply deflects talk of being the Pirates' star.
There's other girls that could score, and when I know my opponent is focusing on me, I know I have those other girls, my teammates, to look to as well. If I'm being double teamed or if they're running a boxing one, I know I have to look for my teammates, especially if they collapse on me. I know I have my teammates to look for.
She doesn't brag. She's not one to just throw herself out there. She likes to talk other people up and make others feel like they're a big part of the team, and it's not just her. It's not just the Kayla show all the time, even though we all know she's one of the best players in the state.
Kayla received her first college scholarship offer as a freshman, and last month she signed her Division I letter of intent to play at the University of Wisconsin.
Overall, the recruiting process was a little overwhelming because I had a lot of schools looking at me, but as I came closer to my decision, it felt amazing, and it was a relief to be able to finally know where I wanted to go.
Chris Vanderhyde is in his first year as the Pirates' head girls basketball coach. He knows he has a special talent in McMorris.
She is an unbelievable athlete on the floor. She has some lateral speed like no other girl I've seen so far in the state, and that is really a benefit for us on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively both. She's unselfish. She can obviously shoot the ball from anywhere, and she's hard to guard in the post. Off the dribble, she's pretty good too, so I mean, the skill set's pretty much everything you want in a player.
Now a veteran leader, Kayla remembers what it was like to play varsity ball as a freshman. Tries to help the younger Pirates players acclimate to this level of play.
Having the younger girls on the team is always great, and being able to work with them and push them, and they're not really intimidated playing with the older girls. It's just they just got to get a feel of everything. And as a 9th grader, I was extremely nervous, and I know how they feel now, and they feel like there's a lot of pressure on them, but I'd always think to myself, just calm down and always regroup myself before a game, and that's what I try to tell our younger girls.
Kayla honed her game the past several summers competing with the North Tartan Elite Basketball Club. As a 14-year-old, she was part of a national championship squad, teaming with other local players that include Champlain Park's Alexis Alexander, Osseo's Io Port, and Maranatha Christian Academy's Madison Lee. All have earned college scholarships for basketball.
I've become really closer with them. Those are like my sisters, and over the years we really built a sisterhood together, and on the court we're enemies, but off the court we can be friends and best friends again.
While her long-term basketball goal is to play either in the WNBA or in Europe, Kayla knows that hoops won't last forever and wants to go into sports broadcasting. Kayla worked with us here at Channel 12 last winter as part of the District 287 Honors Mentor Connection program.
And I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience, being able to know about the field more. And for college, I'm thinking about majoring in journalism and communications.
In this era of open enrollment, it's not unusual for top players to transfer to elite programs. Kayla McMorris started and will finish as a Pirate. That's a big deal to many, including her coach.
Her staying in Park Center, I think, is a good testament to the kind of person and the character she has. And it's a message to kids in Minnesota that you can stay in your own district and still have success and get noticed.
It's been a great experience, and even though we probably didn't get the turnout we wanted our past 3 years against De La Salle, I know this upcoming season, we're coming at them, and we really want to get to our goal, and that's to win state.
And thanks, John, and welcome back to Maple Grove, as Kayla McMorris obviously at one time was about this age out getting a chance to play, and I know these girls are having a great time out there as well. So Park Center leading Maple Grove by a score of 35-32 at halftime of our Northwest Suburban Conference girls game. And we'll be back with more of our coverage here as you get a look at the little girls out there enjoying some court time here at Maple Grove.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
Welcome back. We've had a great first half of varsity play and a good first half of halftime stuff too here as these girls doing battle. We'll take a look at our first half highlights here between the Pirates and the Crimson. It started out nicely for Park Center. A little back cut there, McMorris getting the hoop, and she had plenty more to come as the half went on. There's Kayla Jones stepping out to bury an early three for Maple Grove. McMorris, a dynamite move to the baseline, left hand reverse, gets it to go on the roll there for the Crimson. And then Ekberg, just after coming in off the bench, steps out and nails a quick three for Maple Grove. Haley Barker had a really good first half. She was aggressive, attacked 4 first half buckets for her. And then here's McMorris, had a number of steals in that first half as well and got the easy layup with that one. McKenna DuBois heated up for a little stretch there as the half went deeper into the half. A couple 3-pointers in a row for her. McMorris, great feed from Schaub and just a great communication. That was an and one there for Kayla McMorris. 19 points already in this first half for her. DuBois with 6 and Hannah Schaub with 5. Barker had 10 points for the Crimson. Bourbonnais with 9 to lead Maple Grove. Well, we've got our second half action coming up next here. Northwest Suburban Girls Basketball live on 12 Sports continues in a moment.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth.
You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. It must be hospice.
Hard to beat that. Some Jimmy John's tossed into the crowd at halftime too here. So not only do you come to a game, you get a little free dinner too. That's gotta make your night too. 35-32, a good first half of basketball here, Darren. Second half, for each team, what's the key? What do they need to do to get going here in the second half?
Well, obviously Maple Grove's got to try to contain McMorris. You're not gonna, not gonna shut her out. She's gonna get a few baskets here and there just because she's so athletic, but you can't give up another 19 to her. If you can make her a jump shooter, she's gonna hit a couple. Keep her away from the basket and do some things like that. Now, offensively, Maple Grove's going to have to work the ball around, take their time and just be aggressive after they swing the ball. It's tough to be aggressive on that first pass. Wait for about 3 or 4 passes, then attack the hoop, and hopefully some good things happen.
Crimson ball to start this second half. Bourbonnais inbounding here and gets it into Barta. And down low it comes Schmidt, who had some foul trouble in that first half and misses too strong inside with that one, but they'll get another crack at it. And there's a nice steal by Schaub. Hannah Schaub going to the hoop and missed it. Looked like she was kind of trying to draw that foul and got herself a little off balance. And then Schaub comes and takes it right back. Leaves it ahead for Simonette, and her layup is good.
Jones did a nice job earlier of faking the contact, and the veteran moved kind of to pull out a little bit there. Did a nice job.
Schaub's got up, chased it down, and got another steal for the Pirates. So their lead is to 5 now. 7 was their biggest lead. And cutting free underneath the hoop, and a foul as Allie Winter gets the bucket that time. They were able to work that cross screen on the baseline, and Park Center a little late getting there.
Yeah, Hayes forgot to switch right away and open it up, and it's tough when you do those back screens. You got to switch quick and show, kind of like Maple Grove did in early, but really nice cut there by Winter.
And Winter's free throw drops. So like Schmidt, Hayes had 2 fouls in the first half and didn't play as much probably as normal, and now she picks up an early 3rd foul here, Michaela Hayes for Park Center. So fouls have been a little bit of an issue for her tonight. Here's Dubois letting a 3-pointer rip, this time in and out, and Jones tracks it down. A good shot, though, for PC.
Yeah, wide open, great shot. She's a great shooter.
Winter's jumper won't go. Hayes snares the rebound.
She's just a presence in there. No offensive rebounds when Hayes is in the game.
Simonette banks in a 3. I don't think that was, don't think she called glass there, but they'll take it.
Yeah, that always hurts. Play decent defense, and they bank one in, but that's going to happen.
Bourbonnais with it out top here. Jones getting a screen, and that one's off the back of the iron. Park Center wants to get out and run a little bit. Hannah Schaub, but Crimson do a pretty good job getting back, but Simonette is left open, and she will bury a 3. Boy, Simonette was pretty quiet in that first half, and all of a sudden 8 quick points here in this half. And the lead is 8 for Park Center.
That's just nice. It's amazing what a bankboard shot will do for your confidence. You come out and drill it.
Bourbonnais lines up a 3. That one won't go. Batted around, and Hannah Schaub will wind up with it. Park Center trying to turn things up and pull away a little bit. Down low to McMorris at the bottom of the backboard, and then we're going to get it looks like we have a disagreement. One official has foul, one has jump ball. We'll see what they ultimately end up with. It looks like the foul call is going to win out. Yep. They will get Allie Schmidt for the personal. I actually thought there was some contact. Well, not so much. But then they...
It looked like a lot of contact, and it looks like they got it right.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. As long as you get it right, doesn't matter who makes the call. That's really good officiating there.
McMorris hits the free throw on a timeout taken here. She's trying to fire her team up. They're up now by 9 points. Biggest lead of the night, and Mark Cook is having a little discussion with the official. He didn't and I think part of the issue too, though, Darren, is if there was a foul called at the end of that, it probably should have been on Barta, 14, rather than Schmidt, 44. And they were both there, but the second person who reached in and had her hand partly on the ball, partly on her arm, it looked like was Barta, but they did call that foul on Schmidt.
Yeah, it's always tough in that situation. You're not exactly sure when 2 officials have different calls. One coach is going to be upset no matter which way you look at it. And personally, I think the officiating has been great tonight. It's obviously they're never going to get everything right, but the things that they've done a really nice job and kind of controlled the game and called it both ways on some things.
Yeah, I would agree. And sometimes, teams lend themselves to that too. If you got teams that play good, hard basketball, but clean basketball, and then the game is a little bit easier to officiate too. And I think it also helps when you don't have one team that's miles ahead of the other in talent, because then you tend to see a team try and slow the pace of the game down by fouling a lot.
Yeah, you try to muck it up a little bit and keep it a little bit physical.
McMorris misses on the free throw. Bourbonnais grabs the rebound, and then a foul call against Park Center. On the reach in, it will be against McMorris.
And she's got to be smarter there. She knows, that's not worth getting a foul. Get a foul when you're underneath going for a block, not on a reach at 50, 60 feet from the basket.
That is the second on McMorris right there. And Maple Grove throwing it away as Park Center came with a little bit of pressure and tossed it into the bench.
And they held on to it till the second half. Park Center didn't press once in the first half, and maybe that was their adjustment in theory is, hey, let's get after them a little bit in the second half and not let them adjust.
Schaub driving it and is held as she made the pass off to McMorris. So
I'd like to see him dump the ball to Hayes a couple times on the block. She's working really hard to get open and give her, reward her a little bit, especially when your post girls work that hard. It's nice to get in the ball and at least an inside-outside look. It'll free things up outside also.
And I have the feeling that we could be seeing that, being a really good matchup for the years to come, too, as she's got Tharp in there against her now. McMorris across to Hayes, trying to find room on the baseline, and we're going to get a push call there on Bourbonnais on the baseline, I believe.
For a freshman to catch that pass, those are great hands. Use good footwork to get baseline. She's really tough.
McMorris inbounding here for the Pirates, gets the return and dumps it into Hayes. Hayes, a little spin move, won't drop. But then Ekberg brought the ball down right into Simonette, and then a foul on Ekberg. And that'll be her third. I don't think she realized Simonette was there and basically just brought the ball down right into her. And Simonette was only too happy to take it away, and I think Ekberg was frustrated and tried to get the ball back.
That's exactly what happened.
Dubois open from the corner. That one no good, and Ekberg grabs the rebound. Maple Grove right now has to realize there's a lot of game to be played here. It's not time to panic. They're down 9. Nice dish into Jones, but it was blocked. Looked like they were going to get an easy 2, and then flashing out of nowhere, I think it was Dubois who got it from behind. Here's McMorris to the hole and lays it in.
She switched it over to the left hand right there by the rim, too. That was nice.
11-point lead now. Biggest of the night for PC. Jones shooting it up no good. Hayes had it. Knocked away by Tharp, but it will be Park Center basketball.
Watch her move it back to the left hand here. Really nice. That's a tough shot by Jones. You're down 11. You don't want to come down and just fire it up from right inside the 3 there. Work it a little bit, and you're going to get that shot no matter what.
Danielle Schaub back in, handling it here for Park Center. Pirates playing with some confidence here early in the second half. They built the lead up to 11. It was 3 at halftime. Hannah Schaub the miss. Good block out by Tharp, and it's going to lead to a foul on Peterson.
Tharp's technically sound. Great box out there. Yeah, the 3-point from the corner, I guess that's kind of what Park Center's been doing, but when McMorris flashes to the lane or Hayes, try to dump the ball to them once, and you're up 11. You can get that 3 anytime.
Jones dumping it down low and up and in. Layup good by Allie Schmidt as she went right at McMorris there, trying to draw maybe her 3rd foul there, and McMorris backed off just a little bit. Timeout taken now by Chris Vanderhyde on the Park Center side here, is seeing a thing or two that he wants to adjust. So
this is great play by Jones. I mean, she worked the ball a little bit and found an opening inside and dumped it in there. And Jones is a senior leader. She knows what she has to do to get him back in the ball game here.
Park Center leading it by 9, as we said, heading really down the home stretch of the regular season for both of these teams. Park Center has Armstrong coming up on Friday night at Park Center. And meanwhile, for Maple Grove, they are at Champlain Park on Friday, and then that's pretty much it for the regular season here. So we are winding down in a hurry. You get the winter season obviously is the longest, but it still feels like, you know, you're in that early season mode, then you get into the heart of the conference play, and all of a sudden you feel like, oh wow, here we are, playoff time.
You know, and boys basketball started early this year, and so normally it's always reversed. The girls are finishing before the boys are a week, so it's just a different feel. You know, I don't know how many years in a row was it, 20 years in a row, however that went, but yeah, it's winding down here, and you got to start looking at your seed and where you're going to finish. And I know a lot of people say, well, you got to play everybody. Well, that's true, but you don't want to play everybody the first round. You'd like to play them in the section final if possible. So the seed isn't important.
Schaub goes to the corner to Dubois, and we get a foul away from the play. And it is going to be on Peterson of Park Center. That'll be her third. Barker, they've done a better job on her in the second half, as she was attacking the hoop at will in the first half for the Crimson. Now she comes out and gets it here. Jones open from the wing, and that's good for three, and Kayla Jones calmly sinks it for the Crimson, and they are back to within 6. It just wasn't long ago that it was starting to look like they were going to be out of this one.
It was a great setup, a great screen, and a little miscommunication. McMorris and Dubois, I think, about who was going to go out and take Jones. Squared up and knocked it down.
Schaub swinging it to her sister Danielle. Way across, Peterson looking to attack. Kind of a wild shot there and a battle for it. McMorris gets it back. And here's Hannah Schaub, wide left on that three. Barker to the front court. Schaub chasing after her. Barker saw her coming. You can see a lot more bounce in the step of Maple Grove right now. They're feeling good about the gap that they've been able to close. Jones punches it inside, and a foul call there as Schmidt had the player on her back and went for the attack, and it's going to be Dubois, I think, who will pick it up.
It's another sophomore here for Maple Grove, and she did a nice job of sealing her girl down on the block and turning and getting the shot up quick before the shot blockers could come, and almost had a three-point play.
You know, Darren, I know the trend is for at all levels of basketball for there to be a lot less emphasis on back to the basket and posting up, but I kind of like to see a little bit somebody who's willing to do that and plant somebody on their back and catch it deep down low, down in the post, and try and score it from there.
Yeah, it's a lost art. You know, if you could learn that at a young age, and especially if a guard, if a guard, you get a smaller guard on you, that's just free basket. It's down low, and it's a high percentage shot.
4-point game now as Maple Grove making a run. Here comes McMorris on the drive. No good, but she was bumped. Let's see if they'll call this on the shot or before the shot. I think it might be before the shot. It's Schmidt, and that will be her fourth. It is a baseline inbound, but it is trouble for Maple Grove as it's going to be her fourth foul.
And I'm shocked they didn't sub. Yeah, I'm assuming they had a sub at the table for her.
Now, again, there's a question on 14 or 44. Who was the foul call on? Yeah. It is on Barda rather than Schmidt. So instead of the fourth on Schmidt, it's the second on Barda. Park Center trying to get their momentum back. Hayes in traffic, lost it, and then thrown out of bounds trying to save it there by Io Bomadelli.
Maple Grove's done a great job of battling back. You know, they got down 11, we forget just a little bit ago. Here they are down 4 with the basketball. 11 and change left, and they got a chance here to cut this to a one possession game here.
Schmidt pulls it back out. Here's Barker on the move, won't go. Nice rebound by Hayes, and then a foul on the rebound, it looks like. And this one is going to be on Schmidt. So that will now be her fourth.
You know, that's going to hurt because she did some nice things in there and posted up. And when you get the ball down low, like we talked about, a high percentage shot, good things happen. It slows it down. It makes Park Center sink and collapse. And good things happen when you do that.
Simonette back into the lineup here for PC. Inbounds to Danielle Schaub now running the show. About 11 minutes to go here. 4-point lead for Park Center.
We get a good battle down low with Tharp and Hayes.
And Io Bomadelli is going to be called for a travel as she went to her knees and slid with that ball a little bit. Seemed to be everything was flowing well for Park Center to start the second half, and now all of a sudden they're back to scrambling, a little ebb and flow, some good defensive play by Maple Grove contributing to that too.
Yeah, it's, you know, Maple Grove's really impressed me. I thought they were running on a little gas to start the half, and then they came back and did a nice job.
And we are going to get a foul call here on Simonette. And I'm starting to wonder if we weren't a little quick to praise you. Getting a little tight with some calls here. We're going to have an awful lot of fouls if we continue like this tonight.
Yeah, you know, I don't know about that one out top. If she's impeding her process to the basket, I can understand. But if she's just going side to side, you just kind of tell her, hey, get your hands off.
Barker handling it here for the Crimson. Drives it into the lane, goes with that up and under and got hit. She'll go to the free throw line. Did a lot of that on the first half. Had 4 buckets and 2 free throws, and she'll go to the line right here.
She's aggressive in there. She's strong. You know, I know she's not the biggest, but when she gets in the paint, she's really tough with the basketball.
Barker misses the free throw. It was foul was on Hannah Schaub, just her first. McMorris got a brief break and is now back into the lineup here, and as is Bourbonnais for Maple Grove. You see McCoy is in there in the underneath rebounding spot for Park Center now too. Barker gets the second one, so the lead is just 3.
We haven't heard from McMorris here for a while, just, you know, at least touching the ball or getting a shot here since her great drive to the basket. Maple Grove's doing a nice job.
Timeout taken by Park Center here as they were struggling to get into their offense. So 10-15 to play here in the second half, and a 46-43 advantage for Park Center. I think we're seeing some good examples, Darren, that the season, you know, especially when you're playing in a tough conference and you're playing all these teams twice, you can't just pencil things in and after, you know, January 15th and say this is how it's going to be the second time around too. We're seeing Centennial struggle a little bit late. We're seeing Park Center struggle a little bit late. Meanwhile, a team like Anoka that, you know, had some ups and downs early has come on and been playing very well lately. And Maple Grove, same thing. Osseo, same kind of thing. I mean, some nights you see an Osseo and they look really good. Other nights they haven't looked as good, but that's kind of part of being in a deep conference like this.
You know, and hopefully that's all building up to the sections, and when sections playoff starts, you're built for that because you've battled night in and night out, and that's what you want as a coach, as a team, as a fan. You know, you want to see these great games, and the conference has really been tough top to bottom. I remember years ago there was 3 or 4 teams that were tough, and the bottom was kind of separated. There was a good chunk between them. Now there's 6 or 7 teams that can knock, 8 teams that can knock each other off.
Yeah, that's what Mark Cook said, you know, when he first took over the Crimson program. He said, really, to be perfectly honest, at that time, the conference champ was going to be either Centennial, Osseo, or Maple Grove. There was not much not much of a possibility that it wasn't going to be one of those 3. But there are definitely more good teams now. Here's McMorris nailing a 3.
You know, you got to give some credit there to Coach Vanderheide to stop the game, realize, listen, let's get her the ball. She hasn't touched it in 4 possessions. She's getting the ball here no matter what. And Park Center's almost got to do that without the coach's timeout. And McMorris has got to say, give me the ball.
And a nice job by Hayes coming over to get a piece of that pass, and then it hit a Maple Grove player on the way out, so a turnover. Another look as they get that screen, and
it's been kind of the story. They set a back screen and trying to fight through it. That's really tough when you're trying to play midline defense like that.
6-point PC advantage. Schaub to Simonet, and now Hayes comes out to get it. McMorris getting a high screen, wanted to go to Hayes, but the defense covered up pretty well. Hannah Schaub a crossover, shoveling it nicely over to Hayes for the hoop. Nice job of keeping the dribble alive there. And then a steal on the backcourt, and Schaub will go to the line.
You know, it's just kind of been up and down here for Maple Grove and Park Center. You know, they get the game, the Maple Grove gets it close, just like before half, and going to halftime close, Park Center comes out with a big run. Maple Grove comes back second half, Park Center makes a run, Maple Grove closes it, and same thing's happening again here. Maple Grove cannot get over that hump right now.
Hannah Schaub gets a free throw to drop. Not a huge surprise to see her with that steal. She averages just about 2.5 steals a game. And in some ways, I'm almost surprised it's not even more, by the way, what we've seen tonight. Yeah, now the lead right back to 10.
That's tough, and it goes up and down like that. Maple Grove's going to really have to have a couple good possessions here because this could get out of control if they're not careful.
Jones open for a three, and she sticks it. Her third three-pointer of the night. 11 now for Kayla Jones, and a 7-point advantage for Park Center.
Right on cue. You know, Jones knew it was time and popped that three. That's huge. Keep him back in it.
Nice passing around the horn. McMorris bumped into the D and had to throw it back out as she was falling, and a turnover by the Pirates.
Great job by Maple Grove throwing a double team at her before she could get the ball.
A feed into Jones and missed the layup. That was big for Maple Grove. A great set. Now Schaub, a runner at the other end, falls. Hannah Schaub hits.
You had marked that down with 8 minutes to go. Maple Grove was close to cutting it to 5. And then misses the layup, and Park Center comes down and puts it back to 9. Those are tough turning points in the game.
Barda looks across. Here's Jones open for a three, and before she could take it, we had a foul call against Maple Grove on the screener. It looks like Barker. That'll be her 4th.
Oh, that's too bad. That was a great play. Set up Jones for a nice three.
So the Pirates with a 9-point advantage as Schaub brings it into the front court.
You know, Barker's got 4 and she's still in the game, but you're down 9, so it's kind of a toss-up in that situation. You can't go down much more. So
into Hayes, double team comes. She spins away from it. It won't drop though. And Ekberg, a nice rebound on the weak side for Maple Grove.
Great little move there. Double team came, and like you said, spinned away from it. And, great shot, just missed it.
Bourbonnais across. Ekberg back out to Barker, whips it into the Tharp. And Ekberg forcing up a quick three, and it's an air ball. Dubois out of there with it. Simonet to the hoop. Nice block by Bourbonnais. They get it back, though. McMorris taps it to Hayes, and they'll regroup. McMorris firing up a three, and she hits another.
That's tough. If she's going to hit that shot, there's not much you can do there. You're close to her. She's just a great player.
And she's really made strides throughout her career, too. And, that isn't a given that's going to happen. You see some players who, are talented early and then just don't really get a lot better. But she's really done a lot of things to make her game better as her career has gone on, too.
I got to give some credit there to Hayes. She learned. Ball was in the post. She went straight up with her arms.
Schaub a miss, and Jones grabs the carom here for Maple Grove. Under 6 minutes to play here. The Crimson needing some hoops here. Can't have too many empty trips. They're down by 12. Ekberg will shoot a three, not there, and Schaub winds up with it. Able to get it out of there in traffic to Simonette for the easy two, and a timeout taken here by Maple Grove as the lead has reached its biggest tonight, 60-46. Mark Cook not a happy man at the moment.
You know, it was just a great outlet pass, and I didn't see what Coach Cook saw underneath. There might have been some contact on some things, but you know, it's tough. Maple Grove missed a couple three-pointers there, and if you're going to shoot those, you're not going to make, you know, more than 50% as the time. You know, if that'd be awesome if you could make 50%, that'd be a great percentage. So eventually that's going to catch up with you, and you got to get some buckets inside.
Park Center, I have to give them some credit too for what we talked about. Maple Grove battled right back into it, and Park Center, from their turn, they didn't panic when their, you know, 11-point lead went down to 3 either. They stuck with it pretty well, and now, you know, kind of getting their momentum back going a little bit.
Yeah, and by no means is this game over. You know, Maple Grove can settle in, make a few shots in the post, get some things done, and then all of a sudden, you know, get some defensive stops, and next thing you know, you get that under 10.
Now, we were kidding with Mark Cook if he was going to pull a Jim Boeheim tonight, and I don't think that'll happen, but having a continued discussion with the official right there. See what Maple Grove is able to do here, down by a dozen. Jones getting a high screen. Barta will dump it inside to Winter. A little turnaround jumper is good. Allie Winter's second bucket. She has 5 points, and the lead is a dozen.
That's great offense right there. Things aren't flying from the three. Take your time, work it into the post, and get a high percentage shot.
And we're going to get Bourbonnais getting her hands into the dribbler Schaub there, and will be called for the foul.
Nice little turnaround for Winter there. It was it's what they needed.
So Schaub to the free throw line, and she buries it. 10 points for Hannah now tonight. Park Center, you're in that time frame where you don't want to rush shots, but it's too early to just kind of sit on the lead too. And I think sometimes teams struggle with that. You know, you're looking, you're thinking about, we don't want to be in a hurry, but at the same time, you don't want to take yourself out of an offensive rhythm either.
No, you've got to make sure that you're still getting good shots and running your offense, but you know, you don't need a quick three every time.
Bourbonnais lines up a three from the top of the key, and she buries it.
She's had a great game tonight. She's knocked down, I think, 3 threes, and really shot the ball well and done some nice things in the point guard position.
11-point game. Schaub loses the handle, but then Maple Grove, well, Jones did run it down. Looked like they were going to struggle to control it as well, but they get it back here and a chance to cut the lead into single digits here, but time is not really Maple Grove's friend at the moment, although they've still got enough time, a little over 4 minutes. Ekberg, this is going to be close to a 5 count. I think Maple Grove used the timeout partly because of that. Another look at how Bourbonnais gets open here from the top of the key.
And this goes for all young players. If you can shoot the ball, there's a spot for you on any team. Something you can work on. You don't have to be the best athlete in the world, but if you can shoot the ball and play smart basketball, there'll be a spot for you.
Those guys having fun tonight here. That sandwich probably really propelled them into the second half too. So great to see good student support here for high school basketball too.
Absolutely, it's really cool to see a student section that's all excited.
So Maple Grove basketball here, they are down 11 and a little over 4 minutes to play as they try and battle back. They cut the lead after falling behind by double digits early in this half. And then that pass stolen by Schaub. And then she loses her footing, and she is hurt.
Let's just hope this is a rolled ankle. Looks like she's holding her knee, though. That's the only problem.
Oh, Hannah Schaub trying to slam on the brakes here. And her foot skidded a little bit along the floor. Ooh.
I couldn't really tell. Did it buckle? It looked like it was.
You know, I would have almost hoped that it was good news that her foot slid a little bit and didn't just lock into place and abruptly turn, but obviously it's giving her some trouble here. As she goes to plant that left foot is where it happens right there. Knee kind of snapped forward a little bit, but it looks like she's able to walk off, so hopefully not anything real serious.
Yeah, that's just it. Let her rest for a while now. Hopefully you can get her some rest here for the rest of the week and get her ready for the playoffs.
So Simonette will come in to replace her, and it will be Crimson ball. I guess I'm not sure if they end up calling it traveling or out of bounds there. Either way, you know, you do have to do that, unfortunately, even when somebody gets hurt. So Maple Grove getting the ball back here. Bourbonnais into the front court.
If they look inside here and post somebody up and get a good look here, they've got good looks every time they go inside.
Jones getting it to Bourbonnais. And they come back out. Barker trying to punch it inside, and Hayes coming from behind fouls Winter. That'll be 4 on Michaela.
You know, good, like we talked about, good things happen. Get it in there, take your time. Now you got 1-1 here. Knock a couple back, and you're right within 9.
Winter short with that one, and Park Center ends up with the rebound. So missed opportunity on the front end of the 1-1 there for the Crimson. Park Center working a little weave out high, and Bourbonnais jumping into the dribbler's path there will be called for that personal, her third.
You know, if Park Center can make some free throws here down the stretch, it'll be real big for them. They can kind of, you know, I don't want to say put it away, but it's going to be pretty close here if Maple Grove doesn't knock a few shots down shortly.
Second free throw, no good. So a 12-point lead here for PC as we tick down toward 3 minutes to play.
If you're Park Center here, you just don't want to foul. Just play great defense and keep them in front of you.
Back across for Barda for a 3, and it hits the basket support. So that's out of bounds, and it will be Park Center basketball. Hayes checks back in here for Park Center. Might be going a little offense-defense substitution here with her having 4 fouls.
You know, Park Center should be in layup-only offense right now, and looks like they're running a little weave here to try to get a little cut to the basket.
And an offensive foul on McKenna Dubois, warding off with that off arm, I guess, so that'll be her second.
You know, I've seen you call that a couple times tonight, and it's a tough call because I think everybody does that on almost every single dribble, but maybe she kind of extended it. I couldn't quite see.
Not a shooting situation because it was the player control offensive foul there, so Maple Grove gets it in the back court. They obviously are needing to get going. They don't have much margin for error anymore. Layup try, no good, but nice offensive rebound by Schmidt, and gets the putback. Maple Grove electing not to come with full court pressure, at least right away here. Down by 10 with 2.5 to go.
You know, McMorris kind of just stands on the block down there. She's going to have to come up and try to get the ball here and make some things happen.
They go inside to Hayes. Double team comes. Now Simonette open for a 3, so she'll take it. No good. But then gets it right back. Has that one blocked, and they will inbound from the baseline.
You know what? It goes in. It's a great shot. If not, that's tough. But there's 2 minutes to go. I still say go back to layups only right now, up 10. But we'll see what happens.
trying to go into McMorris. They were fortunate there. I'm not saying it wasn't a foul on Jones, but it wasn't really a good idea to try and dump that one in. There was not much room, but Jones coming over the back a little bit.
They've done a much better job against McMorris the second half.
Free throw is good. Oh, yeah, only 10 points in this half. That's still pretty good, but 29 for the game. And make it 30. You know, for a lot of people, you'd say that's probably a high for the year, but she had a game of 37, it looks like, in their stats. So
wow. And I'm not surprised watching her play tonight.
And Bourbonnais, let's see, who'd this one go out off of? Both teams trying to sell it their way. I think it was off the dribbler, Bourbonnais, there as she tried to cross it over. And so Park Center will get the ball back with 1:56 to go and up by 12.
Oh, nice play.
Well, Schaub is back in there, so she must be all right. We get a foul call. Looks like it'll be on, I believe, on Bourbonnais, yes. That'll be her fourth, so Hannah Schaub to the free throw line.
Good to see her back. Nothing wrong. You know, maybe just a little tweak of the knee.
Nails the free throw. She's a good free throw shooter, and tonight has been really good. 7 for 7. And gets the roll on that one as well. So 14-point advantage now for Park Center. It looks like they have turned back Maple Grove's attempted rally there and didn't have an answer for the second surge that the Pirates put together on them. Jones launching a three, and she hits. Fourth three of the night for Jones.
It's a great shot.
McMorris attacking at the other end, finishes with the left hand and a foul. That's a tough make.
She's just really athletic.
Able to fight through the contact and finish and hit the free throw.
You know, Park Center just has to take away threes and no fouls, and it should be all right.
33 points now for McMorris. And we get a foul underneath, it looks like here, so free throws upcoming for the Crimson. That'll be on McMorris, her third. And Bourbonnais hits the free throw. She's had a solid game, 13 points for the Crimson. Second one also good. So the lead is 12, but 1:15 all that remains. And a Schaub to the baseline, drops it over to McMorris and gets the layup. And uh-oh, Schaub is shaken up again here. And she's holding that same left knee. Ooh. So maybe it wasn't as well as she first thought, or unless this was something that didn't look like really much of anything happened on this one.
Looks like she just tweaked it again, and you know, unless there's something loose in there that right when she came down. Yeah, there's something wrong in there to let that happen right there. You know, she needs to rest here for a little bit and some ice on that for a couple days. You know, sometimes what happens, you get a little cartilage that moves around. It kind of locks it up, and you know, and once it moves around again, it feels better again. So, you know, hopefully that's one of those things that it is, and she can some ice and some rest and get her going. She's a crucial part of Park Center's offense and defense and basketball team.
So 58 ticks left on the clock, 72-58 Park Center. And to win their 19th game of the season here, and looking very much like they're going to do so, and move to 15-4 in the conference. And see Hannah Schaub, gosh, it was just, we were just talking about how, you know, it was good to see her back in the game, and yeah, that's pretty impressive too there. And many times I tried that, I never could do that very well. I mean, obviously it's not the most important thing, it's a skill to learn unless you're going to play for the Globetrotters, but that's pretty good. But anyway, we're talking about Hannah Schaub, you know, coming back in, it was good to see, and then unfortunately tweaking that same knee. So Crimson with the basketball here as we play down our final minute of the contest. Jones with the drive, no good. And McMorris blocking the shot attempt of Barta. Now Simonette. Back out top, McMorris, and here's Dubois. Half minute to play here. Park Center is going to get a sweep of the season series here on their District 279 rival.
Yeah, they did a nice job tonight, and Maple Grove gave a great fight and withstood some, you know, tough pressure from Park Center, and Park Center is so athletic and did some nice things.
Bourbonnais is going to foul out right there in her final home game here for the Crimson.
You know, we didn't think McMorris would get her season high, but if she knocks a couple free throws down here, she can tie it, I think. Isn't 37 what she had before?
And she will, in fact, reach 37 right there.
Wow.
74-58. Barker driving, and Barker is fouled and will go to the line.
You know, Park Center in that situation has to back up, keep their hands up, let them score, and run the clock out. It's just really hard as a high school kid and a college player. You can see them do the same thing. You know, you just want to keep playing hard till the end.
And the free throw is good for Barker, so she has a dozen points here tonight for Maple Grove. Second one also good. So 74-60. Going to wind the clock down. See if Morris will try and add to that total. Nope, he's not going to let it fly. So 74-60. Park Center scoring the victory here on the road, and their 19th win of the season. We'll be back to wrap things up here from Maple Grove in just a minute as the Pirates defeat the Crimson here by 14 at Maple Grove.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth.
You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. It must be hospice.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No?
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown!
Welcome back here to Maple Grove. Park Center winning it over the Crimson 74-60, and we're joined by a couple of the Pirates that helped to make it happen, starting with McKenna Dubois, and get a season sweep here against Maple Grove and kind of break a little losing streak. How'd you feel about the way things went tonight?
I felt really good going into one more conference game in the season and then sections. We needed this win because we had 2 losses, and it just is getting our momentum up for sections.
You guys built a big lead early in the second half. They made one big comeback, but it didn't look like anybody panicked, and you guys just sort of took control back again. What did you talk about in a couple of those huddles?
Just executing our offense, not forcing things, setting good picks, not moving screens like we had been, and just taking the right shots.
No question, it's been a great season for you guys, and you're getting ready for playoff time here. And, Coach was saying that you guys were starting to have a little trouble shooting the ball. Do you feel like a night like this kind of gets the confidence level back up a little bit too?
Yeah, I think it did. We hit big shots tonight. We were all looking for a shot. It was going in, which was good, unlike the other 2 nights when we were not winning. It's good that we were making stuff tonight.
All right, congratulations on the win, McKenna. Good luck in the postseason here, too.
Thank you.
And Kayla McMorris, of all the years I've been doing this was one of the better performances I've seen. 37 points for you tonight. It looked like you had everything going. How keyed in for this game were you?
Oh, I was really zoned in, coming off of 2 bad games and not really doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It just felt good. Everything was going in, and my teammates were hitting me when I was open and stuff, so it felt good.
Playing with a little bit of a black eye there. It's a rough league. That happened against Osseo, it sounds like?
Yeah, I got elbowed going for the ball last night, yep.
You guys, obviously it's tough to be sharp every single night in the year, and you've had a couple off nights lately here, but how much do you think this win will do to sort of get you back on track as a team, playing well into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think this really got our momentum going. We're more of a scoring team, and everybody looks to score. And coming off of 2 nights where we haven't really been doing what we're best at, it felt good to actually see the ball go in. So, yeah.
Obviously, De La Salle has been the team that stands in the way in the last few years in the playoffs, but is this the year that the Pirates can do it and get past them?
Yeah, I have faith in my team, and we're hungry for a section championship, and we want to get to state. So have faith in us. Yep.
All right, congratulations, Kayla. Great job here tonight. Great performance.
Thank you.
All right, Kayla McMorris, 37 points, matching her season high here for Park Center tonight. And they win it 74-60 over the Crimson. Again, both teams have just one more regular season game, and then it's into playoff time in Class 4A for Maple Grove and Class 3A for Park Center. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's ball game. It was a good one from Maple Grove. For Darren Lampker and all of our crew, MJ Wilcox, good night from Maple Grove High School.